Okay, now I'm about to start the Magnorail build. So what I'm going to do is actually do a texture mark on the top of the plywood, mark it so I can do my router cut. Now my router cut is sort of going to be like, as you can see, it's actually 10 millimeters wide by 8 millimeters high. So I'm going to sink the whole track into the woodwork, so I have to actually mark it. So I've just done a sample to make sure it was going to work. So I'm going to mark it all with the texture and then I'll cut it all out. Okay, I've done the first markings of the track. As you can see, it will come out of the building, up, down near the end there, and turn around and come back, turn around again, and then up on the ramp. So now all I've got to do is cut it, which, as I said, I'm going to cut it with a router, and I'll show you that progress. So this is the router I'm going to use. It's just a palm router, and it's got a, as you can see, a 10 millimeter straight cut bit, which is set at 8 mil height. So all I've got to do is try and follow the line, and hopefully it comes out as good as my test run. But anyway, I'll give it a go and we'll see what she looks like. Okay, now I'm going to do the routing up down that straight where that board is. Now that board is my straight edge, so I get a straight cut. So just to show you how I'm going to do it, okay, now I've done that much, and you can actually see where I've routed the return loop, which fits this, and this will just fit snugly in like so. And then the track will just squash in like so. And then it's just completely nice and flush to the baseboard. And the same up here. And just squash it around to the curve that I just cut. So I'll go ahead and finish all the other routing and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, I've finished all the routing now, and as you can see, up that end is where the shed will be, or the building. Around there and back around, and obviously down to the return loop and back up the auto rack. So my next bit, what I have to do is a cover in me hidden track so you can't actually see it. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. Now, to do me hidden auto rack scene, obviously the cars are going to still come out and they have to connect to this track. So what I'm going to do is actually cut this rail here all the way to here. So it's back to baseboard, and then as it's coming out of the auto rack down the ramp, then it will come back out onto the plyboard. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut my plywood at about 60 millimeters. So I'll have a 60 millimeter strip that goes up to that end. Because my ply board is 19 mil thick, I need about 27 mil coverage. So I'm going to cut the board, and then I'll put a board underneath the layout where I've cut to give me the distance so the cars can actually sort of run under the layout, but it's just going to be, the top of the car is still going to be, or the top of the roof of the car won't hit the top of the plyboard. But I'll show you what I mean when I get there. But I'm going to cut that rail now and then clean it up, and I'll get back to you. Okay, now I've cut the track and taken up the cork bed. Now it won't be this, but to come out of the auto rack it will still come down like so, which you won't be able to see because it will be hidden by a shed, and then it will come out and out it goes to join to the other track. So I'll mark up the plyboard and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now I've marked where I'm going to actually sink the track underneath the layout. So up there, around and back up to the router cut. So all that from there to here will be under the, sort of under the layout. So now I've just got to cut that plyboard. So I'll go and cut it. Okay, I've cut the groove now where the hidden car is going to actually go. So it'll actually still come around this corner and then it will drop down. So I'll have a piece of timber, not this timber, another piece of plyboard that will probably sit like so. Just enough to be covered with styrene on top. But all these ones will be seen. So all I've got to do now is the 2 ramps and then do the track into the auto racks. So that's the end of that part.